Christopher Nolan movies are always an event, and Oppenheimer has arguably been the most talked about of his career to date, even ahead of his excellent Batman trilogy. The 3-hour biopic about the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer has recently become Nolan's third highest-grossing movie ever, behind only The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. It's possible that it could even become Nolan's third billion-dollar movie by the end of its run. But enough about the box office, the only ranking we care about is the quality of the movies. So in light of Oppenheimer's success, we've taken on the frankly impossible task of ranking all 12 of Nolan's movies from worst to best. When it comes to Nolan, it's more from good to masterpiece, if we're being honest. You'll almost definitely disagree with this list, but hey, that's the fun of cinema.
They brought him in to solve an unspeakable crime.
Detective Dormer, it's such an honor to meet you.
12. Insomnia, 2002. Remaking the 1997 Norwegian film of the same name, Insomnia follows Al Pacino as a sleepless detective trapped in an Alaskan town until he can solve a harrowing murder. It's Nolan's third outing, and after 2 indie movies, Nolan credits Insomnia as the one that helped him transition into blockbusters. It's not a perfect movie, but an easy highlight is the usually comedic Robin Williams' portrayal of a disturbed killer.
People, and they slowly stop and
Think so, but without the blood.
Storm coming.
The Dark Knight Rises, 2012. Rounding out Nolan's acclaimed Batman trilogy was never going to be easy post The Dark Knight, and sadly, The Dark Knight Rises is more remembered for the controversy surrounding Tom Hardy's vocals than the movie itself. Still, with standout performances from the likes of Michael Caine and Anne Hathaway, there are worse Batman movies out there. Also, a near-perfect ending closes the door on Christian Bale's Dark Knight, hopefully not to return for the DCU's multiverse.
It's an Indian surveillance drone. Solar cells power an entire farm.
9. Interstellar, 2014. Nolan reached for the stars with Interstellar, and what starts as another astronaut story with an all-star cast quickly descends into a typically Nolan-esque sci-fi that's harder to keep up with than quantum physics. Earth is dying in the near future, forcing ex-NASA scientist John Cooper, Matthew McConaughey, to blast off once again in a bid to save humanity. Giving us one of McConaughey's best performances, this is one of the loneliest space epics ever created. 8. Tenet, 2020. If you struggle to keep up with Inception, then good luck with Tenet. Robert Pattinson and John David Washington lead this complicated tale of agents trying to save the world from a devastating attack. The idea of time inversion is a little too clever for its own good, meaning Tenet alienated even the most hardcore Nolanites. Sadly, this technological marvel was marred by the pandemic and failed to hit the mainstream as some of Nolan's other works.
He's hiding something and we need to find out what that is. Out of here.
7. Inception, 2010. Boosting Nolan's most A-list cast yet, Inception was like nothing we'd seen before when it debuted in 2010. Helping boost Joseph Gordon-Levitt's career, he plays brilliantly alongside Leonardo DiCaprio as the tragic Dame Cobb. This Bond-inspired heist movie delves into the psyche of Cillian Murphy's Mark, and as we go deeper, each layer is richer than the last. Delivering one of the most debated endings of all time, we're still talking about whether that totem stopped spinning.
We gotta break out of here.
Evacuation on land, sea, and by air in 3 different timelines that offer up their own unique perspective.
Tell us, Mr. Wayne.
5. Batman Begins, 2005. Putting Christian Bale in the cape and cowl for the first time, Batman Begins ended the run of schlocky comic book movies of the early 2000s to redefine the superhero origin story. Restoring faith in the Dark Knight following Batman and Robin was no easy feat, but with Bale's Bruce Wayne channeling the darkness of Batman, the animated series, it defied expectations. Also, opting for Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul as the villain instead of the Joker was a stroke of genius.
Until somebody builds a bigger one.
Ford Oppenheimer, 2023. Combining the real-life history of Dunkirk and the theoretical physics of Tenet, Oppenheimer feels like the movie Nolan was always building to. A dense 3-hour biopic about J. Robert Oppenheimer, aka the father of the atomic bomb, it's a thrilling and thought-provoking watch with a never-better Cillian Murphy at its center. Once watched, never forgotten.
Yourselves or any other audience anywhere in the world.
3. The Prestige, 2006. Seeing Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman as a pair of warring magicians in Victorian London would be enough on its own, but throw in Michael Caine and an enigmatic performance from David Bowie as Nikola Tesla, and you're onto a winner. Putting Nolan's stamp on Christopher Priest's 1995 novel, The Prestige leaves you guessing how the trick is done until the final second. We're used to Nolan twists, but this one has them by the bucket load.
Trust her.
Even if you get revenge, you're not gonna remember it. You're not even gonna.
2. Memento, 2000. As the one that put Nolan on the map, Memento has one of the most unique premises to ever grace cinema, telling most of its story in reverse. Starring Guy Pearce as the dazed and confused Leonard, he has to piece his life together using his fractured memories and a Polaroid camera. It's clear to see how Memento sets the stage for something like Tenet, and if it were made today, we can only imagine the blockbuster success it would have been.
Forever.
1. The Dark Knight, 2008. Arguably the best comic book movie of all time and one of the best movies of all time, even superhero haters are hard pushed not to be wowed by The Dark Knight. Christian Bale is joined by Aaron Eckhart showing the softer side of the villainous Two-Face, while Gary Oldman's Jim Gordon is another highlight. Of course, who could forget Heath Ledger's legendary performance as the Joker? For the opening bank heist alone, Ledger more than earned his posthumous Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.